Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Margaret Martonosi. I am NSF's Assistant Director for the Computer and Information Science and Engineering, or CISE Directorate, and I'm also a rotator from Princeton University. I joined CISE in February, and it's been thrilling to get up to speed from this side of the curtain on everything that CISE does. I want to sort of start with my profound thanks for everyone that's involved with this BPC pilot. So here's what is undeniably a partial list, but the workshop series steering committee that is bringing these workshops to you, the NSFers that are working so hard as the central focus points for bringing the BPC pilot to reality. The folks at the Computing Research Association, including Burchin and Heather and others who are hosting this, and many more contributors to this effort in this workshop. I also want to end by thanking all of you. We are all busy. This is a very busy time. I appreciate you and your departments choosing to prioritize this among the many things that are pulling on your time right now, because it's exactly this. It's the commitment of all the departments in our space that will actually move the needle on these very important issues. So thank you to you. So when I talk about BPC, I pull numbers out of the Talby survey and I talk about it this way. Women right now represent about 20% of the US CS PhD graduates. African Americans, Hispanics, and Native Americans all totaled together represent about 3% of the US CS PhD graduates. And if you think about what else you might be hearing about in terms of demographic trends, for example, the fact that we will soon be a majority minority nation, the fact that women obviously represent about not just 50% of our population, but over 50% of our college undergrads, what you can do the math and see is that comparing these numbers to the US population demographics, computer science is missing about 60%, about 2/3 of the US population's talents. And I like to think about research as being about planting trees now so that some next generation can get impact. So you plant a tree now and some future generation gets shade, or we get shade now because of investments that we made and people who had great ideas 20 years ago. So if we are missing that much of the US population's talents, it means that there are ideas that aren't being generated or that don't have the workforce to act on them because we aren't sort of leveraging the full talents. And CISE has long been committed to fostering the careers of a diverse set of researchers. I've benefited from some of that. But the point now is to move it from something where a few relatively narrow set of experts seek to move the needle on these issues. The point of the pilot is to move it to a case where we as a full community are moving the needles on these issues. So you've already heard a bit about Jeff and NSF's introduction to how we want to move the needle. High order bit is we know that not everyone is equally expert in how to broaden participation in computing. Some people have spent their lifetime focusing solely on that, others less so. So we want to create mechanisms where individual PIs can plug effectively into some broader effort and push as a community. And one of the ways that we can do that is through these departmental BPC plans. So we're engaging everyone. We're asking everyone who's writing a medium or large to include a BPC plan with a vision of having eventually everyone fully engaged in this after the pilot's over. And then those partnerships between broadening participation experts and the broader size community help us move the needle. We're currently in year 2 of this 3-year pilot. We'll gather the data, we'll see the experiences and decide where to go from there. One thing that I want to highlight about the departmental BPC plan, what can it include? I think Jeff's going to sort of dig into this more as well, and others as well. But yeah, students in your lab are great. We love that. But I also want to encourage you to think more broadly. So work on inclusive classrooms, study faculty climate. If you can change some of the multipliers at those levels, if you change experiences at those levels, the multiplier, the leverage you have on the overall size workforce is extraordinary. Get data, understand the data, and commit to tracking trends in order to inform policies. The one thing I will sort of pause to say is, over the past couple months, we as a nation have faced a lot of challenges, and we've had a lot of challenging discussions about racism in our country. And many of our universities and many of our departments have gone on the record to make anti-racist statements. And to be very concrete, I view a departmental BPC plan as one way that you can take those statements that many departments have made and put them into action. So view this as one way to make your words into actions. I know that I very much appreciate your time here. I know that we can't move the needle unless we're all pushing together. And so I look forward to seeing what comes of this workshop. And again, I want to end with my thanks for everyone who's involved.